So we're going to look at some ideas for developing programs for people with profound and complex needs. So first of all, fairly simple one. Can you just push with your hands and make yourself bounce? Now, if you weren't able to get your hands flat, maybe you could only push with your knuckles. That's going to make your knuckles sore after a while, isn't it? So we could put some cushions down to make it more comfortable for you. Okay. Now maybe you can get your hands flat, so you don't need the cushions, but perhaps you haven't got the hang of the tempo yet and you're just flapping your hands around. So can you do it wrong for us? So we'll get two carers to help you by enabling you to experience what it feels like to push your hands down rhythmically. So if you put your hand over Natasha's hands and push, 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 so she can experience what it feels like to push her hands into the bed. Then over time you'll reduce the pressure on her hands until eventually she can do it on her own. Okay, so this time you can get your hands flat and you have got an idea of tempo, but actually you can only get one hand flat. The other hand has a hemiplegia. So could you now push with that hand? So what's happening here? What is your physio going to say? They're going to say she's compensating for the fact that she can't use her right arm. She's leaning over to one side, she's twisting, and she's building all the muscles on one side and stretching on the other. So ideally, we would get you to use all the muscles on both sides of your body equally. So we could put, if I can give you this, a peanut under that arm. And maybe someone will hold it in place. So now you can push down with your elbow and your hand, so you're using all the muscles equally on both sides of your body and you're not having to lean over and you're not compensating. Good, thank you. So now we're going to look at some ideas for what you could do with somebody with maybe very high tone, maybe cerebral palsy, all four limbs are affected, very tight. So we've hoisted you on or lifted you on to the trampoline, to the rebounder, and we've liaised with your physiotherapist and we have designed a program which is intended to complement the physio's existing program. Always liaise with the physio. If the student has a physio, always liaise with him or her so that you can help complement the existing program. So let's imagine that you are very tight, all four limbs are affected. We've talked with your physio and we've decided we're going to try and use the rebounder to help you to relax, to reduce tone, maybe to straighten arms and legs a little bit, maybe to increase the range of movement if we can, and maybe longer term to encourage you to initiate some movement. So anyway, we've got you on and we'll have you with your back to the handle, not touching the handle, but just with your back to the handle. Okay, so you're very high tone. Now Shirley, could you sit behind Natasha? Now the first thing we've got to do is to make the student comfortable. So everywhere there is a gap that she's maintaining with her own muscles, we need to fill it. So we're going to put cushions or pillows underneath her knees, maybe underneath her arms, unless Shirley's able to support them. So eventually she's comfortable. She might need her head supporting Shirley. You might need to put a pillow behind you. Yeah, maybe bring her back a little bit and support her head. Yeah. And we also need pillows to support the teacher. This is what the handle is used for in this context, because if the student is extending and pushing back, that's going to be uncomfortable for you, Shirley. So we'll put a cushion behind your back, Shirley, and then you can lean against that handle. So now, Shirley, can you ride the bed? So we're just trying to very gently ride the bed. Keep it going, keep it going. And this gentle movement should eventually enable her to relax, which will start to reduce tone. So let's imagine we've been doing this for 10 minutes or so, and she's beginning to relax. So now we're going to look at trying to increase the range of movement of the arms. So Anna, maybe you could kneel in front of her, square on, and take her hands and just start to rotate her hands, go up and down, swing her arms up and down while you're riding the bed, Shirley. Going in time with the movement of the bed. In time, so up, down, that's it, but gently, gently at first. And Shirley, if she's very, very tight, you could help by holding her elbows perhaps, so you could work together on increasing that range of movement. Good. Maybe after a while you'll find that you can start to straighten her legs a little bit. It may be necessary to move some of the cushions to allow that to happen. Yeah. So now we could go back to swimming the arms. Good. Okay. So this might be a variation on the previous exercise, or maybe it's the same student and they've relaxed a bit more and you've managed to get the legs straighter. So we've moved her forward a little bit, so her legs are almost straight and they're being supported by a peanut on the floor. And Shirley, you could still stand across her and you could take her hands maybe if necessary, while Anna takes her elbows. So you could work together on increasing the range of movement. That's working really nicely, isn't it? Good. These are just ideas. No one can tell you exactly what you should do because every student is different. So that's why it's so important to liaise with a physiotherapist and design a program, with their input, which will complement his or her program, physio program. Okay, so this might be the same student or it might be a different student. And we've now got her into a hands and knees position, using a peanut to support. This particular peanut is a little bit too small for Natasha, so we put a pillow on top of it to give her more support. Now, can you just move her forwards a little bit, Shirley? Anna? Yeah. So we've got her in that position. So maybe you could now work on enabling her to start learning what it's like to initiate movement. So one hand over her hand, one hand behind her knee, and you could push, 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 push. So she's experiencing what it feels like to push. And then eventually she may be able to do that on her own. So you could reduce support over time. When you reduce support, maybe go up to the shoulder and the hip and push, and then reduce support even more until eventually she's doing it on her own. If she's not able to hold her head up, you can still put a cushion or a pillow under her chin. Not if she has a tracheostomy, obviously, because it make it hard to breathe, but assuming that's okay, you could do that. Now can you push and initiate the movement? And then see if she can do it on her own. Good. Other ideas for what you could do with her in this position. Maybe she's got a condition where you need to do chest clearance, maybe cystic fibrosis or something along those lines. Liaise with the physiotherapist, get the physio to show you how to do it, but this could be a very good way of helping her with the chest clearance. Probably bring her arms forward a bit, so take the pillow away for now and bring the arms forward. Yeah. And now one of you could ride the bed, so she's getting gentle pressure, rhythmic pressure on her diaphragm, while another one is doing the percussion on the back. But the physio will show you how to do this and tell you whether it's relevant, obviously. Thank you. Again, just to emphasise, these are just ideas of things you could put into a programme for people with profound or complex needs, but always liaise with the physio to make sure what you're doing is relevant.